In another example of electrolysis, today our example is aqueous copper sulfate. So aqueous copper sulfate is taken here as an electrolyte, and we are going to study the effect of passing electric current through aqueous copper sulfate, that is copper sulfate solution, using platinum anode. So the anode should be inert, that is it should be made up of platinum. And cathode, whether you make it as inert, that is you take platinum cathode, or you make it active by taking copper, it has no difference in the observation and the product formation. So it is immaterial whether you take it active or inert, but the anode should be active. So our electrolyte is saturated solution of aqueous copper sulfate prepared in distilled water, and small amount of concentrated sulfuric acid is added. And why this has been added? To increase the electrical conductivity. So why it has been acidified? It has been acidified to increase the electrical conductivity. Now let's see the construction of the electrolytic cell. This is our electrolytic cell, and in this you can see that the anode is made up of platinum, and our cathode is made up of platinum, or you can take it as active also, as I told you before also. It has no difference on the result. So this is the construction, and this is our electrolyte. This is our electrolyte. And what is this electrolyte? This is our electrolyte, and it is copper sulfate solution. It's copper sulfate solution, and it is saturated. Saturated means copper sulfate is in high concentration, and it is acidified. So let us study how the reaction starts. When you dissolve it in water, copper sulfate solution is an electrovalent compound, so it already undergoes dissociation. When it undergoes dissociation, so copper sulfate, it dissociates to make cupric ions, and it makes sulfate ions. And water also ionizes to make H plus ions and hydroxyl ion. So the particle present here is basically cupric ions. Then we have H plus ions. Then we have sulfate ions, hydroxyl ions, and the water molecules. And the ions present are, if they ask you ions, see the difference in particles and ions. If they say ions, you write everything written here, but don't write this water molecule. If they ask you for the particles present. So moving to the next slide. Moving to the next slide here. Now let me first clear these marks. Here also. These were the marks for from the previous slide. So now let me make this slide neat so that there is no interference. Now let us see the reaction at cathode. Let us see the reaction at cathode. Now we have understood that the particle present is cupric ions. So the two type of cations which are present, they are basically H plus ions and the cupric ions. Now as per our knowledge of preferential discharge series, cupric ions are below hydrogen ions. So naturally the one that is below the series, that wins the race, and the cupric ions, they go towards the cathode. They are cations. So C moves to C. So it travels to cathode, and there it undergoes reduction. Reduction means it is going to accept electrons. And as a result, cupric ions, they become copper atom. So here you will get an observation. And what will be your observation? Your observation will be pink or reddish. For copper we always write pink, or we write reddish brown copper is deposited. Please write the complete sentence. Don't just write reddish brown. write down reddish brown copper is deposited, or you use the color pink. Now, what is happening at anode? So the two type of anions are sulfate and hydroxyl. Now hydroxyl ions are below the sulfate ions in the discharge series. So hydroxyl ions will go first. Now since this equation has been backtracked, now you would be wondering that why they are showing it with 4OH. How did they come to know balancing first only? See, this equation was backtracked because we got the observation that oxygen gas is formed at anode. So when actually working was done, it was found that this oxygen gas is only feasible, it can only be formed if we start our reaction with 4OH minus. If you work out with 1OH minus, 2OH minus, 3OH minus, then in our observation oxygen gas is not formed. So this equation, our product, that is our observation, that is our practical, matches with theory if we start with 4OH minus. So first of all, this 4OH minus, so since they are the anions, they go to anode, and at anode loss of electrons takes place. So they lose electrons and they become 4OH. Now this 4OH, it splits into 2OH and 2OH. And as a result of this splitting, two molecules of water are formed and oxygen gas is evolved. So here you must be getting confused that why they have only started with 4OH. Again, I will emphasize this equation is worked after we get observation, and we have to explain that why we are getting oxygen gas. For evolving oxygen gas, so the balanced equation that will satisfy the condition is 4OH. So what will be the product at anode? Oxygen gas. Now another observation, the blue color of copper sulfate ions in the electrolytic solution fades away naturally. Why it will fade away? Now you know that cupric ions are there. These cupric ions were there. But what is happening to the cupric ions? Cupric ions, they are going to cathode and they are becoming copper atoms. So what is happening to the concentration of cupric ions? The concentration of cupric ions is decreasing. And once the concentration of cupric ion decreases, the blue color is going to fade away due to the decrease in cupric ions. And finally, the solution becomes colorless as soon as cupric ions are finished. So during electrolysis, the oxidation of non-metals, I think so this is not required. So you can cancel this part. You can cancel this part. It is not required. So I hope electrolysis of this copper sulfate, aqueous copper sulfate is clear to you. And in our next period or next video, we are going to